Hey guys, it's Tuesday and you're watching Our Pagan Opinions. I'm your host. So, this week's topic comes from us. It's another viewer request. This one comes to us from... what's her name? I'm probably gonna screw this up. It's, Rhonda M. 1970? So that's probably what it is, I think. Anyway, so she sent us a video, or he or she, I think it's she, sent us a little email talking about how she did some research and found out about her ancestry, and they came from like the Slavic area, and that every 60 to 80 years, they would that group of people would sort of burn the whole town down and start fresh over again. And she sort of says that she kind of mirrors that now in her life. She has this like really deep understanding and this urge for there to be life, death, and rebirth, and this constant cycle. And so she wanted to... I'm sorry, I'm trying to adjust. Okay, so she wanted to know if... because as far as she can tell, as she's gone back, she always just assumed that her family background was Christian, that they were just Christian from whenever they were. But she just finds it kind of interesting that even if they were, that they still had this like pagan practice, so to speak, that they had this understanding of life and death and rebirth and the necessity of it all. So her questions are: what are the feelings on the topic? And she wants to know, could paganism be a genetic, primal thing, and not just a group of faiths formed from environmental conditioning? And then, have you had or currently have some sort of calling to find your own ancestral roots in some way? Okay, so as far as my feelings on the topic, I think it is a pretty... I personally don't find this too shocking, I guess, I want to call it something. Just because you have to understand, and I had this similar discussion sort of with a friend of mine a couple weeks ago about something similar, about how, I don't care how much you say, that, Christianity or all the other religions are like really old and they were the first one, or not the first ones, but, that basically that they were all good and whatever, and that they were around for a long, long time. Yeah, they were, but paganism I shouldn't even say paganism, but the the hunter-gatherer mentality, the living off the land and reciprocating back and forth between that and the forces that are around us, those are practices that have been with us before religion, okay? Before there were any kind of thoughts about the divine and the energies around us or whatever, people had these primal understandings of these things, and they understood that life was a cycle, and that you had life and you had death, and that at some point, at the beginning, I think it was just sort of life and death, and they hadn't really kind of understood the whole rebirth concept really, really early on. Like, I'm talking like caveman, that area. But later they slowly kind of built up to the whole rebirth and understanding that the universe is circular and not linear, or that time is circular and not linear. Anyway, I'm sorry, I love doing this. I'm on my webcam, and so I love seeing myself go, woo, and then online. I can do it perfectly now to make sure I'm not screwing it up. Anyway. Sorry, off topic. Anyway, so yeah, we've always had humans, as far back as we've existed, have always had that primal, those ideas have always been there, living off the land, using what's available, the idea of life and death, and that things are grown, and things die, and you can regrow them again, You plant your crops, harvest them, and then the plant dies. You can sort of, I don't know the thing turn around growing a plant, but like, you know, chop it all up, throw it back into the earth, and then use that same soil to grow new crops. Or I guess an easier way would be to just say, you have an apple tree, pick all the apples off the tree, and it's bare with no apples. You can grow apples again. It will come back. So that idea has always been around. So I don't think that the roots of paganism are not as new. They are old. They are super, super old. They are going back to those times. They stem from those ancient beliefs that we all had. You know, going with the seasons and the cycles of the world, the cycles of the earth. So, yeah, I don't think that blah blah blah. I do think that paganism is it's a primal instinct. It's something that we all have inside, whether we choose to accept it or not. It's there. Okay. And then it says, have you had or currently have some sort of calling to find your own ancestral roots in some way? Now, as far as that goes, I totally have. I did that last Samhain was when I first started to really dig into it. And I mean, I knew a little bit about my past, but not as much as I would like to have known. So I did do a little bit of research and obviously found out a lot of things about myself that were really, really interesting. But it's a constant thing within my own practice and within the circle that we work with, is to work with the ancestors in the past and sort of bridge the gap, you know? Because our ancestors are our greatest allies because they have the most invested in us, okay? We are here because of them, okay? If they weren't around, we couldn't be here. They set the groundwork for it to all happen, okay? So, yeah, I totally think that this feeling that you have of having to purge and restart all over again, whether it be moving or through a small thing like cleaning your whole house or whatever, I think that's totally a genetic primal feeling that you're having, because it's embedded in all of us. It's just a matter of waking it up. Sorry. But yeah, and that's about it, I guess. I mean, I really like that topic, and I wish I could share more. Again, most of that topic is something that I'm kind of new into. Not new into, but I've just come across. It's been maybe about 8 or 9 months, and it's been slowly working with it. So I know plenty of people that do know a lot more and could really go into hours and hours of conversation about this. But as far as my understanding goes, this is the best I can offer to you. And it's, again, basically a lot of it is things that I've picked up, obviously, and that it's just fact. I mean, you can research humans and find out that we were like that way before, back in the caveman days, and before that even, you know. So, yeah, I totally go with what you're saying. I would also say to really go in and further dig. And I encourage everybody out there to really go and dig through your ancestry and make a good, strong connection with your ancestors, because they are your greatest allies. Okay? They are your greatest allies, and they can really help you out, and they can really provide good support and energy for your workings. Okay? Because as much as us witches and pagans like to call forth the great divine, you know, the heavens, you also got to remember the underworld, okay, where our ancestors dwell. You have to remember those, the spirits of the land. Those are always important. So, anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed. This is another short video from me. I'll put all the links to our channel information below in the description box, the Facebook page, Twitter, my personal channel. So, as always, feel free to follow us everywhere, stay up to date, and look forward to watching the rest of the week. That's it. Blessed be, guys.